So here's one of the gearboxes. Bit of a setback today. Through unforeseen circumstances, we never get the engines today. So we looked for other jobs to do. So let's say, here's a gearbox, we brought that down today. It's been sat there since we brought it down, nothing's happened with it. And as you can see, Max just got out a little hole there. You can see it looks like a little mole that's come out of the ground. Like he's been welding the floor of the Defender. So I'll take you to the first job that was done today, or one of the first jobs. The door has had the new bottom put in it there. As you can see, the old one is kicking about here somewhere. The old one is down on the floor there, you can see, all rusted up. Stu has been working on this today, and you can see it's all nice. A few little bits to put in, a few holes here for the door card to go in, but nice and neat job there. That's all ready to go. Other door to do tomorrow. It's down here, you can see the rust at the bottom. Mac, busy cutting metal there. He's been welding the hole in the floor down here today.
In my own defence, I caught one of the pigeons that's flying around in Stu's workshop, and I wrung it out to get these welds done because it does look like pigeon excrement.
Well, there you go. As long as it does the job, it's good.
Yeah.
So we had to get that done before we can put the engine in, so that was an essential job anyway. So he's just patching that up just now. Just try to get past the welder here, hang on. I'll take you around the back, see what's happening here. On the front one here, again, a few things went wrong with this today. They've been starting to do the wheels on this one, which is the only one that hadn't been done. Round the back here, with all the hammering going on. There's Rob, who has done both wheel arches from the outside of the vehicle, and is now working on a panel for this side here to repair the floor here. What happened was when he started, he was going to put this panel in here and found more rust on the side wall there. So that's been worked on just now. It's been a bit of a bind, if I'm honest. Very flimsy metal, lots of holes getting blown in it, and we can't get the boot floor in until these are repaired. So we get that side there to do. Once Rob's finished that, he has to repair this side before we can put the boot floor in. But these hopefully are the last main bits of welding that's got to be done. As Rob's just going to demonstrate, he's folded this panel in to go in there. You can see that'll be just a job once it's this side wall's all been done, which looks as if it's almost nearly there now. A few welds to put in, and then he's ready to put that floor in, and then we'll start fabricating. You've not fabricated that side yet, have you, Rob? No, that side's not been fabricated yet, because again, we found more rust. As you can see on the wheel arch there, there's more rust there, so I'm sure once we start cutting away, we'll find even more. So that's been happening today. On the green disco, nothing been done in this today actually, because it's all been about getting the floor done on the red one. I've been working on bits and pieces where we took this frame out. Yes, we're just cleaning up all the frame. The actual frame pieces we took apart yesterday. We've been cleaning all these up, if you can see here. So they're back to bare metal again, and we can start. What we decided to do is we're going to look for a local fabricator because of time constraints and the amount of work that's been done here. We're going to see if we can find a local fabricator that'll fabricate our gull wing doors. As you can see over here, the guys are working on, again, another little problem. We couldn't find any Imperial. Dave, you tell us what's happened today. Like, you couldn't find any Imperial.
These for the suspension.
Hold on, come over so we can hear you, mate. Yeah.
These are some suspension. The tower sits on top of there.
The hat, as they call it.
Which needs to get bolted to this, which keeps it all in place. The problem is, when we took the old ones off, we snapped off the nuts.
Yeah.
Now we've been all over Andover looking for the UNF bolts. We can't do without it, so we're having to come up with some interesting engineering, as I like to call it.
Well, that's what the project's all about, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So we're literally going to take these UNF bolts out, grind them out, stick in some metric ones, bolt it all together, and hope that's going to work.
So that's what Richard and Dave's been working on. What was the other problem he's had? One was to do with Rich, you want to tell us what the other problem was that you found?
Bearings for the replacement chalice, because the vehicle that we're fitting them to has ABS on it, which means it needs a different top bearing for the swing.
And we ordered the normal ones, didn't we?
We've got standard bearings.
So we have to obviously replace them, so
we have to change
that's
them.
kind of held you back today, isn't it?
It means we've got to just put it back together for now, so we can move it.
And done on the next build,
again.
So we have had a few problems today, but that's what these projects are all about. It's how you overcome the problems, and that's what we're good at doing. And it's not a setback. It's just we'll just redo things. Hopefully the engine's going to come down over the week, and maybe the next couple of weeks we'll get them fitted in at the VIA centre. The other thing that's been happening today is that lots of things have been happening really. But one of the main things that's been happening is actually we've been doing a snagging list. So lots and lots of parts are going to be ordered. We've ordered everything we can think of, down to nuts and bolts, everything like that. Anyway, we've got a little fire going on. I'm going to go blow that out. So that's our Saturday update. Fire! Oh, and I'd like to say, I'm missing John today. He chucked me yesterday. He said he wanted a trial separation. And I'm kind of going through a wee bit of desperation. Mac, will you be my new pal?
No.
Si, will you be my new pal? Looks like I'm going to have to try and butter up to John. I was going to chuck him there, but there you go. That's where we are.
So continuing on the rebuild of the Defender, the guys in previous videos you might have seen they've done all of the soundproofing that's in the back here, so it makes the whole thing look like a baked potato, which is good because I like baked potatoes, obviously. What we've done is we've separated the bodies because we noticed a little bit of corrosion around points like this, and it's not serious. It's just one of those things that it'll bite us in a couple of years, and it's just easy to do it whilst we're in this position. We've got all the paint, we've got all the guys, all that lot. So we're just sort of taking little snagging bits like this out. So we've unbolted the body, as I say. We're giving it a bit of a rub, and we're just going to prime all that lot up, give it a bit of a paint. So what we're doing at the moment is with the door, we've taken the stay out of the door, because normally the stay will stop the door from opening wide enough to be able to smash your rear lights or dent the door because it's made of aluminium. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a webbing strap in to stop it retaining. So all of this is in preparation for the guys in the next couple of weeks are going to start fabricating out of wood a big drawer that's going to go all the way up to the bulkhead, and it's going to pull out, have a couple of legs to support it, and the idea of this drawer is it's going to be stuff that we're not going to use all the time. So up to about 2 feet in is going to be the mechanics' tools. So what we're going to do is we're going to adopt a system similar to what the army use, which is foam inserts with all of our tools, so we can see if there's anything missing. We also can keep track of it in the dark, that kind of good stuff. And the second half of it is going to have things like our alternators, starter motors, drive shafts, all the spares that we won't use necessarily on the Expedition at all, but it means that it's there, it's accessible, it's just not something we need to get to every day. So another thing they're going to do is they're going to then put a board across the top, so that where we've got these two lovely doors that are going to become gull-wing doors, the guys are going to put us a board over the top of the drawers, so essentially a worktop unit. We're going to have a table that mounts across that, and then we're going to have another shelf essentially that's going to be on top of that, and that we haven't decided exactly what we're going to do with it, whether we're going to use deployable boxes that we can remove and take out, or we're going to put something fixed in. But we're just going to do the basic fit for now, and then we're going to start looking around at what other people have done, take suggestions from the guys and see what we think we need in this vehicle. So we've taken the decision as well that given how close we're getting to our launch, which is in June, what we're going to do is we're going to farm out the body to a local fabricating firm. And what they're going to do is we're going to have a two-section put on this. So rather than have one complete door that just swings open like that, we're going to have one that sits level with the tub, and that's going to come down like this, just so that we've got easy access. And then another one that's going to go up like that. So the fabrication challenge that's going to come up is where the body makes this kind of rolled shape. A fabricator is going to have to make something that will probably come up the side here to make a frame, one complete frame, but they'll have to make a complete cutout piece for here. So it means that the body will look more like the original body that we had on it. So where it'll look like a 110 van body rather than looking like it had the roller shutter hatches. So that should make it look a bit better, so we can actually get a bit more sponsorship on the doors, or sponsorship logos and things like that on the doors for some of the companies that have been kind enough to donate towards the project. So that's quite good. Can I just jump in ahead of you, please, mate? So what we've done inside here so far is we're starting to get the cabin into some sort of order that we want. We've identified a lot of things on the loom that are added extras. So we found things like the immobiliser, which was very basic. Anybody with half an understanding of electrics could bypass it and, nick the wagon or whatever. So we're going to remove that, and we're going to put a much more sophisticated system on that should immobilise the vehicle and put trackers on it, so that if it is, God forbid, stolen, then the rest of us will be in the other wagons to chase them down. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the complete wiring loom, all the ignition engine loom, all the way back, so that we'll have a complete fresh wiring loom, so that none of it, we don't have to worry about, well, where does this wire go, where does that wire go, which is what you tend to get with, I like to call them chimps, where they do the wiring, and it just causes you so many problems, especially when something goes wrong and you start tracing the wire. It starts out purple, it goes red, then it goes black, and then it goes back to red again. It's a nightmare for doing. So we're going to completely change the wiring loom so that it is fresh and new. So what we've got is now this is the dashboard out of the wagon, and we had, as Stu's got here, this lovely green pleather was what was all over the dashboard. So that we've ripped off, and we're going to use a solvent to try and get all this glue off. And then what we'll do is we'll rub it down and key it in, and we'll repaint the dash. So some of this stuff has already been painted in this lovely, attractive green colour. And you can see the original sort of plastics that were in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use paint from one of our sponsors, U-Pol. So thank you very much, U-Pol, by the way. So we're going to rub down bits like this. We're going to paint this in U-Pol once we've spoken to them to find out the correct procedure, priming and whatnot. And we'll do exactly the same thing with the dash. And what we're looking at next is we're potentially looking at a kit from, are they called Raptor?
Raptor, yeah.
Raptor. And what they do is they make like a stainless steel inserts that I think they make them in a few colours, but we're looking at sort of stainless steel coloured ones. And what will happen is it will give us that little bit of a lift in the cabin. And it means that all of our gauges, all of our clocks and things like that will be that little bit nicer. So another thing we've decided with the dashboard is that although there is a compartment for putting our radio into, what we're going to do is we'll probably turn this into a pocket or something. We're going to mount our stereos and CVs behind us, so that we haven't got wires flapping around the place and guys wanting to plug their phones in and stuff like that. So that's all going to be behind us in the cabin.
Please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter @VIA Charity.